It's Gurren Lagann time! Hello and welcome to another figure review. Today we're gonna have a look at the BUZZmod Gurren Lagann Yoko figure. Gurren Lagann is one of my favorite animes of all time. It's one of my top 5 and whatnot. And Yoko is one of the big queens, the mothers of fan service. So what a connection this is. One of my favorite anime and one of the most fan servicey type characters. As a figure, I have been waiting for this for a long while, so I'm not gonna bore you with any more introduction. Let's have a look at the figure. There was like a Revoltech Yoko ages ago. I have that figure as well, but you know, you gotta have something a little bit more detailed, a little bit more nice looking, and not have these ugly joints. And while you're here, don't forget guys, if you love Gurren Lagann, and if you love Yoko, and if you love these kind of type of reviews, please hit me up with a like, subscribe to this channel, and comment down below who's your favorite Gurren Lagann character. Stands on her own, that's also quite nice. Let's see, she stands at about, for the size, 14 centimeters to the top of the head, and almost 14 and a half to the back of the head, well, the hair, the big ponytail. And for your inches, we're going up to 5.5 inches to the top of the head and almost like 5.67-ish size comparisons. Here's Jolter, the SH Figure Arts Son Goku, BUZZmod Kamina, the Snail Child Lustia, and Darkseid. Overall, look and detail. Well, the look's amazing, straight out of the anime. The paint is clean, and from what I can tell, most of it is painted. And I love this face sculpt, and there's many more of these. Wide variety of that, very expressionate figure. And yeah, I love the red. Also, like the tones of the color has this really kind of blood red. Really sticks out, really looks colorful, really looks vibrant, and I love it. Also got the skull in the hair. And now, here's some things I don't really like. You have the golden chopsticks to kind of hold her hair in place, and those are soft plastic. And as such, they're also kind of all kinds of warped and whatnot, so that's just why I make that piece soft plastic. Well, so it doesn't break off so easily, but still, you could have done a little bit better job. Have the scarf, which is floaty. That one has a little bit of bleeding. Actually, quite a lot if you go in deeper and have a good look at it. Then we have the boba. Now, here's a really weird part about it. The boba is a piece. It's a single piece. So I don't know about that one. It's, I guess the idea, you know, because in the anime it wobbles a lot around, so you can, depending on the pose, move the chesticles in one way. And I mean, you do have another chest part to replace this one with, but it is connected via a ball, so you can swivel it, and that's about it. I don't know. Now, look-wise also, I love these shoulder joints, but more on that later when we have a look at the articulation. You have her armbands, which just a little tiny bit of bleeding on her bicep. And we got the gloves with some more gold on here. And as you can tell, the belt is another weird design choice. It's floaty. And I just don't know why. Like, you could say, well, does it open up more articulation points? I don't know, because you have a soft belt. It's soft plastic anyway, so I don't really get the point. Then we go down to the stockings, which, as you can tell, are real cloth. And I've been debating about this one for a long time. And honestly, having the figure in hand, it's a lot less bad than it looked on the pictures, because there it looked quite thick. This is like thin material, it doesn't get into the way of the articulation. The one thing we lose about this one is that there's absolutely zero fire squish, but hold on, I kind of know why they did that, because often her stockings would like kind of fall down a little bit and she would pull it up, you know, for like some more fan servicey type moments. That happened a couple of times in the show, if I remember correctly. It's been a while, so if I'm wrong, let me know down in the comments. But anyway, I guess that was the idea, but still it doesn't quite look right. I think it looks better than it looked in the promo shots, but I'm not. I would have preferred this just to be molded on. Look a lot more fan servicey, look a lot more like kind of see-through-ish. It had like a really cool look. It kind of vibrantly, you know, kind of glossy in the show. So that would have looked really cool, but they decided to go with this instead, and I don't hate it as much as I thought I would. Then we go down to the cowboy boots, which are a bit more shiny and have the red flames on there, also on those. Paint job on that is actually quite nice, and you also do have the zipper, a little bit of metallic on the side. So, I mean, overall, it's a very clean looking figure. For the articulation, I'm generally pleased with this one. So we do have the ball joint for the hair, so you can rotate that all the way around. No issues there. Has a little bit of up and downward movement, so, you know, it gets us some cool poses, but it also could be a little bit tighter, and it also kind of weighs down on the head articulation. So joints, generally speaking, are okay, but I wish they were just a little bit tighter. So we do have a hinge in the neck and then a ball in the head, so you can bring that forward quite nicely, but as you can tell, it's being pulled back a little bit, and then we move it to the back for some beautiful shots where she looks up. And I mean, combining these two works really well, and the fact that you can move the scarf around a little bit to the front to just kind of tuck it in there, and also tilt side to side, and also goes all the way around. And the strains of the hair of soft plastic on the side over here. Then we get to the shoulder articulation, and that one is actually quite interesting, and I think I like it. So first and foremost, you do have a ball hinge on one hand, and then we have like goes into a smaller ball. So it still goes up quite nicely. Let me try to get it into the right position. It goes up quite nicely. It does a weird squeaky noise, and then I can obviously also swivel it. And if you put it up, like, let's see, if we disjoint it like this, it really helps with your forward movement. And it looks wonky, but you can hide that. The thing is, like, generally speaking, this shoulder joint looks hella clean if you just fold it up like that. And if you want to go for some more wonky poses, you can just flip this part out, and you can range another, you can get like a whole another range of motion with it. So, generally speaking, I like this. The joints are kind of small though, so I hope they don't break off, but still, really cool idea. Then we have a ball hinge in the elbow and another ball hinge in the hand. Can bring that up and down and also be rotated. Then we already had a look at the chest part, which you can wriggle around. But let's see, the entire chest part articulation is back and forth. Is okay, considering like it's such a simple design. Maybe they could have done more, but you know, it's fine. Back and forth, side to side. And then we have the hip part, which, let me move this up so we can have a look. Also like a belly button. Bring that forward, and let's see, and let's not get stuck with the plastic in there. Also can bring it backwards. Let's have another look at the nice butt. I didn't really give it the time of the day, but yeah, there it is. There's not really a butt mold in there, and I don't know, was Yoko? She was more about the boba. I don't remember how much of like butt we got. She has the wide hips though, so the fan service is in full effect. Then for the legs, let's see if there's anything you couldn't pull out. No. So you can move the legs up if you rotate it out, maybe a little bit more, not really that much. Out to the side. Like, I think there's just a regular ball in there, but they didn't really hollow it out. As such, it looks a lot cleaner, but it doesn't really get much range. Also goes to the back. I say not much, you know, it's fine, but I've seen a lot better. Then we can also rotate it on there, swivel it around. The knee joint goes all the way up. I don't know what this is, but let's see. Oh, we have double hinged, okay. And then also swivel in there, didn't even notice that, but yeah, double hinged knee. And as you can tell, the cloth doesn't really get into the way of your articulation. It looks very clean, so, you know, kudos on that, that's nice. And then the boot, from what I can tell, is probably also on the ball, because you can bring this back and forth, wiggle it side to side, and also rotate it around. And also like the stocking, I noticed that it's not even connected down there. So that's annoying. So we already have our first issue with the stocking not getting back into place. And then finally, the foot is on a ball hinge, bring that back and forth. Has some very nice range, but it is a big ball. Also, nice side-to-side pivoting, and finally we also have a toe hinge. For your accessories, first and foremost, you have the front hairpiece with the iconic glasses, nice and orange see-through, just connected to the front of the hair. Then I'm also in love with these face sculpts. We have an angry face on the right and the confused face on the other side, and then we have another happy smiley face and also a smirking face looking to the side. Then we have the different boba piece, and if you're wondering, yeah, it's kind of like when the boba is just squished a lot more together, you know, when she's holding on to the sniper or whatever. You can do whatever with that you want. And then we do have the sniper, which doesn't move. We can't flip this out. I don't know if she ever did that in the show, to be fair. But, I mean, it looks nice. There's not really that much detail on it. But again, I think that it's just show accurate. And if you're wondering to the handle to it, well, handle or whatever you call this, you can take that out and you can switch it out. Because you can just take this apart. I put it on for show. And you have this one. And you have one that's just completely straight. And then you also have another piece for the sniper. Let me get that on real quick. Let's not try to break anything off. It's kind of thin. I mean, it's a sniper, so don't make it too thick. Have a nice blue blast effect, which is really blasting through it. I'm blasting when I'm looking at this figure. But anyway, that's the sniper. And then we have, obviously for that, got a trigger finger hand. We have 2 fist hands and 2 completely open hands. Adding that to the hands that are on the figure. Not really that many hands. Final thoughts! I like this figure. First and foremost, the look. They absolutely nailed it, from the proportions, from the paint, the coloring and whatnot is amazing. And I love the face sculpts. It's like she jumped straight out of the anime. Articulation also works a lot better than I previously anticipated. I said there's some wobbly joints, and that's mostly the neck part. Everything else feels kind of nice and tight. I didn't have any trouble getting into poses. Also stands on her own, holds onto the rifle with one hand, no issue, no wobbliness about that. So I gotta give him credit for that as well. It has a bunch of cool accessories, and finally, I guess the bad part is, like, I'm not sure about the stockings. I'm not sure about the movable chest part. I'm not sure about the floppy belts. Yeah, finally the price point, you know, it ain't cheap, but I don't mind it that much. So, what does that mean? I do recommend this figure because I think it is that premium figure Yoko I've been looking for all those years. Maybe down the line we get some more, but as it is right now, I think this figure is pretty solid, and I definitely can recommend it to everybody who's a fan of Gurren Lagann, who's a fan of Yoko, and who's a fan of fan service. That's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever Yoko Littner wants.